Welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I uploaded any video, but I came across a very interesting story, that of a storm bird called ANZU, from Sumerian mythology, and it is very much similar to the Hindu bird god Garuda. Also, we will be discussing about the Vedas being equivalent of the Tablet of Destiny. Those who are familiar with Sumerian Akkadian mythology, they will be knowing what I mean by Tablet of Destinies. So let us start with the Anzu bird. Here we have the Pascal's triangle. In fact, Pascal's triangle is nothing but the representation of the powers of the number 11. In fact, 1 is 11 raised to 0, 11 is 11 raised to 1, 121 is 11 raised to 2, 1331 is 11 raised to 4. Like that, they are simply the powers of the number 11. And this triangle is also called the stairway to heaven in esoteric circles. So I tried to basically put all the letters, English alphabets, and not just English alphabets. If any of you follow my videos, you will know the logic behind the alphabets. I mean the names of alphabets. This is the way I represent letters. Letters, English alphabet starting with A to Z, represent the uh, squares of course of 1 to 26 squares. That's one notation, and the other in other notation I represent the English alphabets with the prime numbers. So let us say 2 is the first prime number. So this is the serial number 1. First prime number is associated with A. So A is the first prime number, B is second prime number, C is third prime number, like that. So the following that logic, if you go on assigning letters to the what do you call prime numbers, then I forgot to tell you about how the next set of prime numbers look like. I will show you that. See, from A to Z here, 1 to 26, we have 101 is the 26th prime number. That's fine. But what happens after Z, that is Z? So one cycle of the English alphabets A to Z are over, and then next cycle starts, in the sense this will become 27th prime number will be represented by AA. Why AA? Because I explained about the vowels and diphthongs earlier, and this is the vowel. A is the first vowel. So all English alphabets from A to Z will have the vowel A at the end. So once we exhaust even this nomenclature, let us say A also is over here. Well, here ZA is 52nd alphabet, and after ZA we will have the next vowel E after the alphabets. AE will be the 53rd alphabet. So following this logic, AEIOU will be taking the second place. So here, if we follow the same logic, the 156th serial number, I mean the prime number, 156th prime number is 911. Okay, so what is the letter representing 911? Here it is a ZU or ZU. ZU. 156th prime number is 911, which can be represented as ZU. So that is the basically this is the what do you call etymology behind ZU, according to me, of course. So I tried to um, arrange these alphabets also in the shape of the Pascal's triangle. There isn't much of a it's not very complex. Basically, what all I did was, starting with A, I went on placing uh, B, C here, D, E, F here, in the sense first I put one letter, above that two letters, above that three letters, just like as we have in Pascal's triangle. There is only one here, two digits are there. Here you have one, two, one, three digits are there. Here you have one, three, three, one, four digits are there. So similarly, I tried to arrange the alphabets here instead of what do you call the powers of 11. So what do we get here? When we reach there are around 17 rows here. After this is the 17th row, highest row is 17th row. So after the 17th row, you will be left with three prime numbers, namely, not prime numbers, but basically the three alphabets. Alphabets are what do you call syllables? Three syllables which represent the remaining three prime numbers. Why we have three above this? Why not completely here? The reason is we have 17 rows, right? 17 rows into 18 equal to 306 by 2, we take 153. That straight directly follows from the mathematical principle of giving the sum of n natural numbers, which is n into n plus 1 by 2. That is 17 into 18 by 2. That is 17 nines or 153. So from here to here, when you arrange these letters or what do you call the syllables representing the prime numbers, then 153 will end here. But as we have already seen, this is the ZU or ZU is 156th syllable rather, in my convention, naming convention. 156th syllable is ZU, which is equal to 911. So this I arranged, when I arranged these prime numbers from here to here in 17 rows, 153 uh, prime numbers could be arranged here. Rather, these are the syllables, and I'll show you the prime numbers list again. So these syllables, 156 such syllables we have, and these 17 rows accommodate only 153. So 3 syllables remain uh, above this triangle. So these 3 syllables are, according to me, that those 3 are the what do you call, the head of the lion. Head of the lion. I forgot to mention about the zoo bird. Here we have the Sumerian storm bird called ANZU, which is also called ZU. Its actual name is ANZU, but it is in short called zoo. So I'm talking about this zoo, and this bird, this storm bird, is supposed to have the head of a lion and body of an eagle or bird. So these 3 comprise the head of the lion, or in other words, in any of the pyramids, in the pyramid technology, for example, the most famous being the Giza pyramid. In the Giza pyramid, you have at the top, the top is has uh, a capstone, rather the top is blunt, and above which a small pyramid can be placed. That is called the capstone. So this is kind of that capstone, that is the head of the zoo. The lion head of the zoo is kind of a capstone. So I try to arrange them like this, and then again the same thing. Here we have these 3 uh, last 3 prime numbers of the 156 prime numbers. The last 3 of those prime numbers, which cannot be accommodated in 17 rows. From here to here we have 17 rows. Only 153 prime numbers can be accommodated in these 17 rows. So 3 remain. Those 3 form the head of the lion, or you can say the capstone of the pyramid. So what is so interesting about the ANZU bird? Here, let us see. In Sumerian and Akkadian mythology, Anzu is a divine storm bird and personification of the southern wind and the thunder clouds. We have southern wind and thunder clouds. Those are in Sumerian mythology. They are represented rather by Anzu, a bird called Anzu. This demon, half man and half bird. Here, if you observe, there is a difference between the Hindu mythology and Sumerian mythology. In Sumerian mythology, this bird is counted rather as a demon, having half body as a human body and half bird body. So half man and half bird, and he stole the tablet of destinies. This guy, the Anzu bird, stole the tablet of destinies from Enlil. Enlil is the supreme god, and hid them on a mountain top. Anu, the father of Enlil and Enki, and Anu ordered the other gods in the other gods to retrieve the tablet, even though they all feared the demon. So when Enlil was taking a bath, he put the tablet of destinies aside and he takes a dip in the water. All the while, Enlil wears this tablet of destinies actually. And what is this tablet of destinies? According to Sumerian mythology, the tablet of destinies is the one, a kind of amulet which confers the power of kingship of gods on Enlil, meaning whoever wears this tablet of destinies will be the king of the gods. So this ANZU guy, while ANZU is actually protector of Enlil's residence, and he basically steals this tablet of destinies from Enlil. Anu, the father of Enlil, orders other deities, other gods or demigods to retrieve the tablet from Anzu. But all of them express their inability because Anzu is such a powerful bird that they all know the strength of this bird. Anzu is very powerful and none of them dare encountering him in war. They fear his strength. He is so powerful. So, according to one text, Marduk killed the bird. In another, it died through the arrows of the god Ninutta. So, though most of the gods express their inability to take on this Anzu bird, one guy steps forward. He is Ninutta. Ninutta is the son of Enlil. So Ninutta steps forward, and Ninutta is supposed to have killed this bird with some uh, poisonous winds or something like that. And he has, of course, a thunder bolt as his weapon. So with his thunders and the winds, is god of winds and thunder. So he with them with his weapons he kills his bird. That is one version of the story. In another version, Marduk is supposed to have killed the bird. Marduk is, for those who don't know who Marduk is the son of Enki, the other son of Anu. Anu, the Sumerian pantheon, I think I need to explain about the Sumerian pantheon. Um, Otherwise, you will not understand the whole story, which is called Enuma Elish in Sumerian. The story of Enuma Elish starts with a pure water god called Abzu and salt water goddess of Tiamat. So, excuse me. Abzu, the pure water, that is primordial waters basically. When it all started, the creation started, there was only the pure water and the salt water. So pure water was supposed to be male god called Abzu. Salt water was supposed to be female god called Tiamat. So Abzu and Tiamat had two sons called Anshar and Kishar. Anshar and Kishar had again two children called uh, uh, Anu and Ki, and Anu had two children called Enlil and Enki. Enlil had a son called Ninurta. Enki had a son called Marduk. And what happened was, the story goes like, in the beginning, there was only the pure water god Abzu and his wife, saltwater goddess Tiamat. And later they gave birth to Anshar and Kishar. Anshar and Kishar gave birth to Anu and Ki, and Anu and Ki gave birth to Enlil and Enki. So basically the family started growing, and at a particular juncture, the god of all, the ultimate god Abzu, the pure water god, gets irritated by the noise made by the ever growing family of gods. So they have children, they have grandchildren, grandchildren. So the family went on expanding like anything, and all these kids were making so much noise that Abzu, the pure water god, could not sleep at night nor could concentrate on his work on day in daytime. So he told Tiamat, his wife, saltwater goddess, that uh, the gods need to be controlled. His children, grandchildren, his progeny basically needs to be controlled, and he should make them not make noise and cause him the irritation. So basically, what he tells that he tells Tiamat that somehow these gods have to be controlled. His children need to be controlled. Tiamat, being mother, she goes to her children who are Anshar and Kishar, and subsequently Anu and Ki, and tells them that their father, the father of all, Abzu, is not very happy about them making noise, so much noise, and he's planning to control them. So Enki, who is basically great grandchild of Abzu. Abzu's son is Anshar, Anshar's son is Anu, Anu's son is Enki. So he is great grandchild of Abzu. This guy Enki uh, makes Abzu drink a kind of what do you call drug, drug infused drink rather. So Abzu drinks that whatever Enki offers, the drink, and he falls asleep. So when Abzu was sleeping, in fact, he almost in condition of, he is a kind of faints after drinking the whatever drink Enki offers him. So in that inebriated condition, Enki kills Abzu. Enki kills Abzu and declares himself to be the god in his place. In the sense, Abzu was the god of everyone, the supreme god, and he is the god of fresh waters. But after killing Abzu, Enki assumes the office of fresh waters. In the sense, he declares himself to be the fresh god of fresh waters. So then, okay, so much. So that it happened so quickly that ANZU didn't have any time to retaliate or defend himself. He was completely unconscious. He felt unconscious, and then in that condition, Enki killed him. So, okay, now the father is gone. The father is gone. Enki becomes kind of assumes the title of father of fresh waters. And then what happens? Tiamat, though she herself informed her children about their father's plan, she feels bad because basically Abzu is her consort. Abzu was her husband. So she didn't expect the children to kill him altogether. He just wanted to, warn the people that their father is not very happy with them. But she didn't expect them to kill him. So when Enki kills Abzu, Tiamat declares war on these gods. They are, after all, her children. So what she does is she goes to war with these her own children, and she creates some 11 demon dragon-like creatures, fills them with poison, fills their these what do you call, instead of fire, she fills them with poison. When they breathe out poison. Such creatures she creates, 11 of those creatures she creates. And she chooses one of them called Kingu to be her, commander of her forces. And she gives the tablet of destinies. As I explained in the beginning, the tablet of destinies is the one which bestows the power of kingship to any person. Meaning, anyone who wears that tablet of destinies will become the king of gods. So, Tiamat, after Abzu died, naturally, being his consort, she gets the tablet of destinies and she confers it on Kingu, her commander. But then the gods, assemble together, and they search for a warrior who can take on Tiamat, their mother. So, after a lot of contemplation, they select one guy. He is called Marduk. Marduk has, it seems, 4 ears, 4 eyes, and 4 arms, something like that. He's very fearsome guy, and he is very fearless also. He is basically the son of Enki. So Anu proposes that uh, Marduk should be made the commander of God's force, God's army. So Marduk assumes the commandership of the God's army, and war ensues. And in that ensuing war, Tiamat loses. In the sense, Kingu, her commander, is killed by Marduk, and Tiamat is also killed. Out of Tiamat's skull, Marduk makes the present earth, and out of her eyes, he makes the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, and out of her tail, he makes heaven, the what we call the what do you call Milky Way galaxy. He makes Milky Way galaxy out of her tail. So basically, Marduk kills mother of all, while his father Enki kills Abzu, father of all. His son Marduk kills mother of all. So these are very cunning and treacherous gods, these two, Enki and his son Marduk. Anyway, that's the story behind this. And now, what happened? The ANZU bird steals the tablet of destiny now from Enlil. So the Ninutta, the son of Enlil, kills Anjubert and restores the tablet of destinies. He restores the tablet of destinies from him, retrieves the tablet of destiny from Anzu, but he doesn't return it to gods, other gods. In the sense, actually, Anu is a supreme god, and there are other gods like Enlil, his father Enlil, and uncle Enki. He doesn't return it to them. So, Enki, being a very shrewd, cunning god, he foresees the plans of Ninurta. He correctly what do you call anticipates Ninurta's feelings, in the sense he could clearly make out from behavior of Ninurta that Ninurta is planning to retain the tablet of destinies. So what he does is he basically creates a turtle and which nibbles at Ninurta's feet. It keeps on irritating him. He cuts his tendons and something like that. So he irritates him so much that Ninurta is basically made to return the tablet of destinies. So the tablet of destinies now lies with Enki, not Enlil. So similar story in Hindu mythology. We have the Vedas. The Vedas were stolen by some demon, and those were again retrieved by a god called Matsya, god in the shape of Matsya, Matsyavatara, we call it. Matsyavatara is basically fish god, a god who has half man and half fish. That he is the Matsya Avatara. So that Matsya, god Matsya, retrieves the tablet of destiny from demons. So it is very much similar. The Enki figure here is a fish god instead of turtle here. In the Sumerian story we have turtle, but in Hindu story it is the fish which restores the Vedas. After defeating Anzu, Ninurta honored by Enki in Eridu, Enki senses his thoughts and creates a giant turtle which he releases behind Ninurta and which bites the hero's ankle. As they struggle, the turtle digs a pit in the with its claws, which both of them fall into. Enki gloats over Ninurta's defeat. So Enki is a very trickster god, cunning god, and he tricks Ninurta into submitting the tablet of destinies. Right. Now let us see the story of Garuda. The story of Garuda is also very much similar in the sense, uh, after losing a bet to Kadru through trickery. Kadru is mother of Nagas. I think I told this story a lot of times, but again, briefly, I will tell you. The Prajapati Kashyapa has two wives among many other wives. One is Kadrua, she is mother of Nagas, and the other is Vinata. Vinata is mother of birds. So they both of them ask for sons. So what Kashyapa does is, what do you call? Kadruva asks for 1,000 sons, and Vinata asks for only 2 sons. But she says those sons should have the strength of all of Nagas together. So Kashyapa grants their wishes, and Kadruva gets 1,000 eggs, and Vinata gets 2 eggs. Kadruva hatches them, and 1,000 Nagas come out of those eggs. But Vinata, even after 500 years, the eggs don't hatch. So after few hundred years, Vinata, getting restless, breaks one of the eggs. So out of that egg comes out rather what we call the premature baby. He is called Aruna, and that Aruna curses his mother Vinata that you are so impatient to wait for my full growth, and you made me a premature baby. So may you be the slave of the Nagas, Kadrua. And only when my brother Garuda is born, he will release you from the bond of the Nagas. He curses him, curses his mother, and goes on to become the charioteer of Surya. So that's a story, by story, I think. So after losing a bet to Kadruva through trickery, Vinata was forced to become her slave. Garuda later on asked his brothers to free his mother from her slavery, to which they demanded Amrita from heaven. So, when Garuda is born after 500 years, again Garuda is born. He was born he very late, but when Garuda was born, the gods thought it was fire. He was outshining the sun also. The sun was also shadowed by the radiance of Garuda. So Garuda is so radiant, and he had such a strength that when he flaps his wings, the heavens, heaven to the hell, the whole system shook when he flapped his wings. He's so strong. So when Garuda asked the Nagas to release his mother from slavery, they demand Amrita. Amrita is a elixir. So Garuda waged a war against gods with his extraordinary might and abilities beyond thinking, and defeated all of them, including Indra. Garuda defeats even Indra, the king of gods. He then took Indra's nectar vessel and flew back to earth. He brought nectar to earth. Vishnu then came to Garuda and asked him to be his ride, to which yeah, to be his ride, to which he agreed. Indra requested that Garuda not give the Amrita to Nagas, though, as it would bring great trouble later. So they forged a plan. Indra comes up with a cunning plan again. This Indra guy is almost like Yankee, a trickster god. So what he tells Garuda is, uh, upon reaching his brothers, Garuda placed a vessel before them and asked them to first purify themselves before drinking. So Indra tells Garuda to ask the Nagas to perform ablutions before drinking the nectar. So the Nagas go to the river to take bath, and then, meanwhile, Jayanta, the son of Indra, stole the vessel back. On returning, the Nagas were all devoured by Garuda. So, Jayanta, who is the son of Indra, takes back the vessel of nectar. So, again, and the Nagas were devoured by Garuda. So, that is the story. But basically, there's a difference between Sumerian story of Anzu and the Hindu story of Garuda, because Garuda is selfless. Garuda didn't have any self-interest at heart uh, uh, in stealing the Amrita from Indra. It is not, in fact, he did not even steal Amrita from Indra. He defeated Indra and took Amrita from Indra. So that is the difference. The Garuda is a genuine hero who won the war face to face. He went to war with Indra and he won it fair and square. He won it the war fair and square and took the Amrita. He did not steal Amrita from Indra, the gods. So there's a difference. And he did not have any selfish interest at heart in getting the nectar. He just, his only aim was to free his mother, Vinata, from slavery. So Garuda is, in fact, uh, of the almost all the characters in Hindu mythology, I like Garuda the most because he is a selfless warrior. He's something like, Prometheus. Prometheus is the son of Iapetus, a titan who is brother of Cronus, father of Zeus and what do you call Poseidon. But Prometheus steals fire from heaven and shares it with human beings. He did a very good thing. He is the actually the well-wisher of the human beings. But what uh, for doing that, for helping human beings, he was punished. Zeus punished him. He bound him to a rock and made an eagle eat his liver every day. Though it grows back by in the daytime, in the night time the eagle eats his liver. So the gods were so cruel that they didn't have the interests of the human beings at heart. So the all these three heroes, Zoo, I am damn sure, though it is made out the Anzu was made out to be a villain in Sumerian mythology. I am damn sure even Anzu was had the interests of the human beings, the commoners at heart, and he got the tablet of destinies, and made the common man or the human being the god, king of gods. In the sense, he basically wanted to do away with this differentiation, this what do you call uh, what do you call, there is racial discrimination, the discrimination of gods and the humans. He wanted to do away with that, and wanted to prove that even other than gods can be become kings of heaven. So and that being said, the next, let us go to the next part. We have already discussed as part of the this story, Garuda and ANZU stories, but the question is, are Vedas the tablet of destinies? Because we have just now discussed how Matsya Matsya saves the Vedas from the demons. Demons steal Vedas, and Matsya, God comes in the avatar of Matsya and saves the Vedas. So I feel what in Hindu mythology are called Vedas and these holy scriptures, those could be referred to as the tablet of destinies in Sumerian mythology, because whoever owns this tablet of destinies will become king of gods. So similarly, even here, Vedas were so important to these gods in Hindu mythology that they restore them, come what may, they did restore them. Whatever you do, you got to get them back. That seems to be the policy of the gods in Hindu mythology. So they were so important. So I think there is some, these two could be one and the same. The tablet of destinies of the Sumerians could be as well be the Vedas in Hindu mythology. So that's my, in fact, opinion, but I'm not sure. But there lot of similarity between there are, in fact, other than this, uh, there are three characters in Sumerian mythology who are very much similar, and we can very easily confuse between them. All three are almost supposed to be the sons of Abzu. Anju is supposed to be the son of Abzu, the first god, primordial god, god of fresh waters. And then uh, uh, there is this Kingu. Kingu is also supposed to be the son of Abzu and Tiamat, but who later becomes the commander of Tiamat's army. And there is one more character called Mumu, who is the advisor of Abzu and Tiamat. He is also supposed to be the son of Abzu and Tiamat. So there are three similar characters, very much similar. They could be one and the same or different, but all three are equally important, and all three are, in a way, I think, they are the real heirs of the kingdom of heaven. And after Tiamat is killed, and her commander Kingu is killed by Marduk, Marduk mixes Kingu's blood with mud, and he creates human beings from the flesh of what do you call Kingu, the commander of Tema's army. So, in a way, you see, we all know that in the Hebrew religion, uh, they eat the bread. The bread they eat is supposed to be the flesh of Christ. meaning Christ was made. If Kingu is the Christ, then from his body the humans were made. So eating Kingu's flesh means that the children, the human beings are children of the Christ, in the sense from Christ they were made, so they are eating Kingu. Kingu, who is a Christ. It is, when they eat bread, it is supposed to be the flesh of Christ. And when they drink wine, it is supposed to be the blood of Christ. It reminds of Christ, them of Christ. So the Christ they are remembering here could be Kingu as well. That's my opinion. So these parallel characters of Kingu, ANZU, and Mumu, or even Garuda in Hindu mythology. These are all actually the original inheritors of the uh, kingdom of heavens. And most these two, at least two of them, Anju and Garuda, are birds. So half man, half bird guys. So they are, I think, the actual, real uh, heirs of the supreme god Abzu, the god of fresh waters. So they are the actual sons, the real sons of Abzu, who should have inherited the heavens, not the guys who call themselves gods now, are Olympians now in Greek mythology. Olympians are the gods, and in Hindu mythology, the later gods. But the Abzu is like the celestial water, uh, which originated in the core of our galaxy. That water is the actual father of all, and his sons like Anzu or Abzu. The words are also very similar. Zu, so that Zu, which is represented by the prime number 911, is the one uh, who is a real inheritor of the kingdom of heaven. Yeah, so it's the video has become very longer than I expected. So let us call it a day now, and let us meet some other time. Thank you for watching the video. Bye.